Hi there, Zamin from NerdTube. These are my thoughts and spoilers of Mega Kingstown Season 3, Episode 6, Ecotone. Another great episode, but I wouldn't say probably the best episode of this season, but regardless, it's good. I mean, this is just a great show. We got payback from the Aryans in this episode. They came back at the crypts really hard, and they did a drive-by shooting. And unfortunately, one of the people they killed in that shooting was somebody who is not involved in any of this. But she had a shop next door to where Bunny lived, which is where the Aryans were targeting, and she got caught in the crossfire. And that was Bunny's sister. Bunny's goddamn beautiful fucking sister. There's one thing Hollywood likes to do is kill off fucking gorgeous people because that's always shocking anyway. But regardless, she's gone. Rest in peace, Bunny's sister. I'm afraid I've forgotten your fucking name. But Bunny himself in this episode came across as kind of self-reflective of his life after the death of his sister. Obviously, he wants blood. He wants payback. No doubt about that. But he also looks upon his own life and realizes, will he ever live to be an old man? Will he ever die in his sleep like somebody he knew who was an old man who lived in the hood, who lived until an old age, died in his sleep? Will he ever be like that person? Will he ever have that luxury? And he's not so sure. The Aryans have taken over the prison warden. When I say the Aryans, I don't mean the prisoners. I mean the prison guards. There are more Aryan prison guards now than there are just respectable, neutral prison guards. And the way they treat some of the black prisoners, you saw in this episode, was with disdain, and they were actually touching up the visitors as well, the female visitors of these prisoners, really showing their power to the black prisoners who are also associated with the Crips. They obviously take their lead from Callahan, who's in prison himself. He's trying to come across as this big Don Corleone in prison, thinking that he knows it all because obviously he's an intelligent guy. He's well read and all of that shit. He's had a lot of time to read a lot of fucking books because he's been in prison for a long time. And he kind of picks up on what's going on with him at times. He's been put into the hole, which is like a location for prisoners who are really bad, like isolation. He's been put into the hole, but apparently, allegedly, for his own well-being. But he knows he's been put in the hole for punishment after what happened to the Crips, because they believe, that he's associated with that. And who is definitely associated with that is the fucking Russians. The Russians, the Aryan Brotherhood, they're pretty much one and the fucking same now. And they get visited by the cops. Obviously, Iris is there. She's still playing her part while she's undercover. She gets a little bit too much into her part and gets elbowed in the face by the police once they try to arrest Constantine for what they believe he did to Bunny's location, or allegedly had done. And they also remind him that you did kill Tatiana and left her baby in a dumpster. They remind him of that. They want to just remind us as well of what sort of person Constantine, and he's a terrible person. And obviously Iris, when she gets taken into custody and she has a moment isolated from everyone else and gets a chance to speak to Mike, has to be reminded of what fucking danger that she's in as well, because, being in this position, one slip up and she's dead. Same with Tatiana. And I'm surprised, as I said in my previous review, I'm surprised that she's not being killed. Because one of the things that got Tatiana killed was that she served under Milo. Well, so did fucking Iris. What makes her any different? I don't know. But regardless, it makes me wonder. Maybe Constantine knows about Iris all along. It's interesting. I do feel that Iris is doing all of this, as I said last week, more for Milo, because I do believe Milo's alive. And she's doing it for Mike, because Milo and Constantine have no love for each other either. If you've seen during the course of this particular season, regarding the woman who was knocked up by that prison warden who got stabbed by her, she was giving birth. You could see it in prison while she's like her water's breaking. None of the other fucking prisoners give a fuck about her. They're telling her to shut up and stuff like that. She's banging on the wall, trying to get the attention of the prison warden that, look, I'm going through some shit here. None of them give a fuck about her. Eventually, she does get seen by the medical staff at the prison, and she gives birth to a kid. But I think is it Trish? Let me just remind myself of her name. That is Trish. I think it's Trish McCluskey. Yes, that is Kyle's partner. If her name is wrong, I do. Tracy McCluskey. she's investigating this because she's just curious, because how the hell did this girl get knocked up if she's in fucking prison? And if she did get knocked up, then she theoretically might have been raped, and then this becomes an investigation. And so maybe a prison warden might have raped her. Obviously, that wasn't the case. She had consensual sex with the prison guard who she killed. But Tracy doesn't know that. And so she's trying to put everything together. And the prison warden of the woman's prison, she doesn't want to take this any further than she has to. But because she's been pushed by Tracy, she'll have to look into it. But she's also worried about certain people maybe getting hurt from all of this, maybe getting killed from all of this. You know, something could be uncovered by all of this, and it could make things worse. She wants to just let it go, but Tracy is adamant we need to find out what the fuck's going on. So we'll see how that pans out in future episodes as well. Yep, it was a fine episode of Mayor of Kingstown. Look, there are better episodes than this, but not saying I didn't like this episode. This episode was still great. You know, not every episode is going to be 9, 10 out of 10, but even when it's like a 7 or 8 out of 10, it's still enjoyable. It just doesn't have every moment like wall-to-wall action and all of that sort of shit. You know, it can still be enjoyable and just get the plot going until the next bunch of set pieces, or God knows what we'll have in the upcoming episodes. But still, I enjoyed this. I love this fucking show, and even an episode that was not on the same par as the previous ones, it's still fucking enjoyable to watch. And I do recommend this show if you've not seen it. It's just some of the best stuff on television right now. So I'm going to give Mayor Kingstown, and this, like I said, this is not as good as the previous episodes, but it's still, I give it an 8. So you can imagine what marks I've given it for previous episodes, because I've given them high marks as well. This is still an 8. This is still great stuff. Fantastic performances by the various characters. Love this world. Love all these people in it. I did say that somebody of significance would die. I'm not saying Bunny's sister was somebody of significance, because she wasn't, in my opinion. She kind of came back just to be killed off, and that's a shame, really. But I do think somebody will die. It's a coin toss between Iris, Kyle, Tracy. Is it Billy? No, it's Ian. Ian might pass away. Robert. Oh, by the way, Robert, like he's the police officer who always wearing the tactical gear and shit like that, and he's fucking trigger happy for a start. But he might be going through some mental issues a little bit. He looks like he's getting the shakes, or the fact that he didn't kill anyone in that raid against the Russians when they were arresting all the Russians. That upset him, that he never killed anyone. We'll see what happens with him. He might get knocked off. You know, there's a whole bunch of people. Maybe Evelyn. You know, like I do feel somebody's going to die. I know last season we did have Diane West's character of Marion McCluskey passing away, and that was a big deal. But I do feel someone else now, somebody who's still got more life to live, other than obviously Bunny's sister, who, like I said, wasn't a major part of the episode or the series anyway, but somebody who has been a major part of the series. I think they're going to cop it, and they're going to cop it soon. Anyway, let me know what you think. And as I said earlier, I give this episode an 8. So what do you give it? Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to NerdTube, the greatest YouTube channel you never heard of, as well as other social media networks we're on, like TikTok and Twitch and Twitter and all of that. And if you've already forgotten, the name's NerdTube. Remember it.